touch it. Every time we've researched every branch of the government in Haskell County, somebody somewhere had excess money, but you can't use it for that. But they got it somewhere. I think come budget time, you could probably re-budget some. If every fire department has got excess money, they don't want to give it up, I know. But the schools don't want to turn the lights out in the hall to save money, but they have to. Right? The state is short of money, and they can't fund them. Everybody in the state can cut their budget, but Haskell County. That don't make sense to me.
No, we did cut the budget. I don't understand why you say we didn't cut the budget. We did cut the budget.
You laid 3 people off.
We laid 3 people off.
This year?
Well, last year when we laid 3 people off, and I don't understand why you're saying that. And referring to the rest of your questions, yes, there are laws, just like the 1/4% sales tax the fire department has. It's illegal for anybody to spend that except the fire department.
But can you not,
I mean, that's the law. I mean,
can you not have funds reappropriated?
no, you can't
You
have
can't
that
put
fire
it before
department.
the people and let them vote on it?
You can vote on it, yes.
Well, that'd be the
you
way to
could
do
vote
it.
on
If
it.
they're getting a half cent or
They're
a
getting a
quarter
quarter.
cent, and they got excess money,
They're getting a quarter.
since I've been in these meetings, I've had 2 people from fire departments come in here to buy a truck, and they never brought but one estimate. They got so much money that they don't have to do nothing but go pick out what they want. Now, I want them to put out a fire if it's at my house too, and I want them to be tended to right. But if you got excess money, you need to reappropriate it to where we need it now, and ask for less than a half% sales tax. That's my opinion.
Well, thank you.
You put it to vote of the people.
But it should vote the people. I guarantee you they'll vote for a 1/4 cent before they will a half. I would.
Or you're talking about, are you talking about taking a 1/4 cent from the fire department?
Well,
Is that what you're talking
I'm
about?
saying reappropriate funds wherever they're at. Fire department's a good place to start. If you've got excess money in them, and I think every one of them does, every one of them I've talked to has.
But they're using that money. You know what?
I know what a pair of boots costs, I know what a raincoat costs, know all that. I know what a D9 dozer costs, I know. And I know whenever you get to crunch time, you can cut money somewhere. If you've got a $6 million budget, 10% ain't that much, but it's a lot when you got a payment over here.
Well,
We
we're
don't
a
have a
long
$6
ways from
million
having $6
budget.
million. It's like a little.
Well, whatever money, I'm just
Yeah, okay,
saying,
I got you.
10% ain't that much.
But Rock, I appreciate your concern, and I appreciate you being here, I do. Because I felt just, when they started this, I felt just like you did. Asking the people for a half-cent sales tax wasn't the right thing to do. But after looking at it and talking to different people, I still don't want to ask the people for a half-cent sales tax. I just don't know what, I mean, like I said, we've been over this 100 times. It's either property tax or sales tax. And I haven't talked to one person yet that wants to go on the property tax. Go ahead.
Back to the sales tax, we'll try this one more time.
Okay.
Just because it's a possible solution doesn't make it right. I'm gonna read the statute one more time. It says the regional or economic development authority or regional district pursuant to provisions of section 176 of Title 60 of the Oklahoma statutes for the purpose of planning, construction of transportation or regional economic development projects located within the boundaries of such regional district. That's what the money can be used for. It can't be used for financial bailout of a jail.
And I can appreciate that
So why do we ask the people to vote for that?
because it's not up to our interpretation. It's up to the judge and a lawyer to interpret that.
If you'll look on.
It has passed. It has passed in the state of Oklahoma.
If you look on the internet and look far enough at that statute right there, there will be a section in there that includes county jail. I've seen it. I didn't copy it, but I've seen it. Roads, bridges, county jails, all that sorts of things. That, I don't know about debt service. I'm not sure about that, but if you wanted to build one, a new one, you could.
That might be called economic development. It was built under the guise that it conceivably could bring business to the county. This hasn't been anything but a money pit since day one. It's not economic development.
It's gonna be an economic disaster if it's allowed to default. So, in my terms, economic development includes saving that.
I can appreciate that point of view.
Well, it don't seem like we're getting anywhere to me, but we know we need money. You cut, voted in, we gotta do something. Besides,
I think you're gonna have to touch both. And anybody with any sense can see that, you can't probably cut enough to make up for it. So you're gonna have to do some cutting and gonna have to some additional revenue to
hey,
every
we
keep
can
up
tighten our
with it.
belt now, but we gotta have some money else.
Yeah, exactly.
How much?
You got the figures, I think.
Well, it's a lot less than what you're going out for. That's what I'm saying is there's not enough time been spent on this to examine it, to analyze it, and take sound advice that where it has worked and has not worked, and make a thoughtful, right decision.
Randy, how long would it take to get those people down here to tell us something?
Probably 2 weeks.
Can you do it that fast, Randy, with the way you proposed it? Is you have to ask them, you're gonna ask them what to do, and they're gonna submit a bid for what you've got to pay?
We've already asked them, in the preliminary points, I've already told them what we're gonna ask of them, so they're already prepared for it.
So that.
We just have to do it.
And they have to give you I'm
And-
talking about the
and
contract with the
They'll
attorneys.
give us a contract as to how much it's gonna cost.
How long's that gonna take?
I would say just a day or two. I'm not doing their work,
Yeah, I
but
understand.
they've been expedient on everything else we've asked of them in the past.
And then we'll have to have another meeting then to approve that.
Yeah.
So you're talking a couple of weeks?
To get it on the June ballot, when's the deadline?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Oh, crap.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're gonna be hung up next April, is what we're gonna be.
Do we have the authority as a group to make a recommendation as to what to do? It's inevitable. We're gonna have to pay this thing. And sales tax is the only equitable, honest way to do it.
Exactly.
Now we're faced with this. Why dilly-dally around? Make your mind up, face facts, get some good figures, and do it.
Well, again, it's a question of, is it legal or not, Dad? And I, you've got opinions on both ways.
Got feelings both ways.
So the problem is, as I see it, is if we vote the tax, if the people vote it, on second, that's the next, and then someone challenges it, what are you gonna do to make that next payment? Because they're gonna, even if it goes to the court decision, you're gonna be held up a pretty good while getting that done.
But what are you gonna do if you don't have the tax?
I'll agree, you've got to do something here and now. Is there any way you can stretch this out with any other monies? Now, again, I'll ask rumors, Paul, and this is what I've heard as rumors, and it goes right, that there's $100,000 sitting in one of the offices' accounts. Is that true?
That is very true.
Can
If
you
you
not
wanna go-
deduct that?
A lot of these offices make part of their payroll out of that account.
I understand, but if you got excess, why is it excess?
I wouldn't call it excess. They,
Don't that have to last until the end of the fiscal year?
That'll be
Excess.
but
Can't
Yeah.
they apply that to their part
no,
of their
once
budget?
again, I wish Nody was here. You cannot legally, and like I said, once again, this Board of County Commissioners, we don't make the laws. You cannot, when money is put into certain accounts, It can only be pulled out for certain reasons, for certain.
You don't have to pull it out.
Well,
You can just take that much off their part of the budget.
what come out of the general fund that you're
Out of
applying
the
to their
general
Now,
account
you could
could be
cut it
withheld
like
from
that.
to draw that money. Now, you know, this is a
But we're
point
also
where you're
fighting-
gonna say to the people, we can sit down here and have 100,000 in this count and 50,000 in this count and 25,000 excess in this count, sitting there, but you people are gonna have to pay. And that don't make any difference whether it's a sales tax or an ad valorem tax. You've got excess money, it needs to come out and be put to pay what's done now.
Then you'll be shut, then there's a possibility. I mean, if you take too much, they're gonna be shutting some of these offices down.
Well, you've had a carryover for years, haven't you, to gain this? I'm sure
You
probably
call
don't gain it.
carryover from, Tom can comment on this, but from June to December, you have to have a carryover. That's what you pay your bills with, right, Tom? I mean,
The carryover at June of 15 was $583,000. It's went up every year till then. They tell me it's going down starting this year. I'm just going by their opinion, Paul. I can't verify that. So gets around 250, you're broke because you
yeah, you're
non-pay list.
250, you're broke.
That's the bottom line. I mean,
250,
That's
Some-
about $250,000
Yeah.
difference.
yeah.
that's $250,000.
But they tell me it's going
make
down
it-
this year, but nobody can tell me how much.
And you know, we also, since we're getting off on a different subject, the floor in this building here is falling through. We have issues at this courthouse we're gonna have to pay for. We have an obsolete heating and cooling system to provide county employees a proper place to work. I mean, there are more issues than just that jail and finances. I mean, you know, like the elevator breaks down. It costs $300 a month to service the elevator. By law, you have to have somebody inspected every month. That's $300 a month. You let one thing go wrong with it, that's $4,000 or $5,000.
Is that in
You
your
can't-
budget?
It's in the general fund.
General fund
Has to
budget?
come out of the general
It has to come out of
Has
the
to
general fund.
And.
But those
other-
things have to be done.
Right, but other than the assessor or whichever's office and one assistant, that's all you're really obligated to pay by the law, right?
Correct.
Correct. And yet you're sitting here and saying we can have 4 or 5 more people, or we, you know, in
How
that
do you
office.
figure that?
Well, I don't know how many, I'm just saying you can have excess, or you can have surplus money, but you're asking us then to pay.
I don't guess I understand that question. I apologize.
Well, if you've got excess money in it, and let's say the treasurer's account, excess money over what she's budgeted, excess money over herself or
I think what you
himself.
was talking about, the sheriff's department's on excess money that I'm aware of.
Well, see, that's what I asked. Was there other excess money?
I think Brian, it has been brought up about Brian's cash accounts. And the only way to get to his cash accounts is to cut, you could cut Brian more than we've cut him, but Brian's
No.
been cut. Brian's been cut several times throughout the years.
But he has excess money.
He has to buy a vehicle, or whatever, he needs that one if a vehicle blows up. He has to have a vehicle, gas, it costs money. So you're asking the Board of County Commissioners to break the sheriff's department.
No,
So
I'm not
well, now
asking
hang on. You said excess money. I believe you can ask either one of these guys up here, right here, they're all extremely intelligent businessmen. And I ain't saying they had been in that situation. So you want them to go run a business with no capital money? I mean,
No,
things
what
that-
I asked, Paul, was to answer the rumor, was there excess
Yes.
money around?
Well, it depends on what your definition of excess money.
That
because-
is excess money in their account over what the budget, if budget, is there excess
Yes,
money?
he does. All I'm aware of. is
Does
yes,
any other office have any
Not
excess
that I'm
money?
aware of.
Not that you're aware of, thank you.
But yes, there is some in
I
Brian's.
might ask the assessor, or
That would be better to ask the assessor, you're right.
you can ask the
Treasurer.
county treasurer, and it's public knowledge. You can look and see what's in every one of those accounts. And I know what you're saying, and you're exactly correct. It is county money that's in there. And how much they have to operate off of, I have not got into the operations of each cost for each electoral office. But there is cash reserve in there.
Go ahead, Bob.
We had a question I asked about the proposition or the ordinance or the ballot, have we hired a law firm to prepare that for filing with the county election board?
Have we hired one?
Yeah.
Not at the moment.
So we got
We
2
will
days
have
to do it.
We'll have it.
Who are we gonna hire?
I assume we use RDA.
Yeah, that's that McDonough company.
Is it the same ones that did the last one?
Not that I'm aware of. I wasn't here when all this was brought up last time. I was before my time.
Are you talking about the last one at the meeting at the VOTEC?
No, it's Floyd Law Firm.
I understand. I've just never heard of RDA.
You never heard of Farley Board?
Oh, the district attorney.
Yes, our legal counsel.
Yeah, so.
Our district attorney, not RDA firm.
Okay.
Anyway. Does anybody else have anything on item number 13?
We're not on 13.
You're not on 13, open discussion with jail committee?
No, we're back up to.
Well, I just consider that as jail committee. Well, moving on to 13, does anybody have any open discussion on the jail committee?
Go down, hit the jackpot, casino.
I've got one, Paul.
Okay, go ahead, Tom.
He brought up a good point that I'm frustrated with when I've talked to the various members of the county. They can't tell me where your cash forward is going to be up or down this June. And I think that's unacceptable for a business as big as the county. I think you ought to enlist a little financial help so they can do some monthly projections on each one of these so you know exactly where you're going to be come June. You'll know ahead of time what's going to be there. Now, you should know. You got a couple of revenue sources. You got sales tax and property taxes. Divide your expenses up, and you can see what you're going to be, Roger. At June 30th, you can see what's coming instead of guessing at it. And there's people that will help you free of charge do that if you would enlist their help. Not me, but somebody. That'd be my suggestion. The more
You're
knowledge
talking
you
about
have,
our carryover for next year?
yeah, start projecting now instead of wait till June.
Well, we can look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can look at it and see.
I think the more the people know, the more they're gonna trust.
I agree with
The
that
trust is
100%.
gone, and I think it needs to be rebuilt. And that's not just a half a cent sales tax, but other things. Show your people when they come to this meeting, the minutes. Show them the budget for that last month that y'all are supposed to have it every end of the month. Show a balance of every official in that courthouse and yourself. People will start looking at it because they don't know. They have to go find out themselves. If you give it to them, they'll come. If you don't, they won't.
Well, that's something to take into consideration.
If we're on 13, I'd like to ask the commissioners by name, when was the date of their last visit at the jail? Paul?
Been a week or two. I don't know exactly the exact date. I do not know.
Been a week or two, or a month or two, or?
I'm gonna say 30 days. That'll put me in there.
Marvin?
I was out there last Monday. I called this morning, there's 39 prisoners out there.
Clark?
I don't know the exact date. I believe it was Thursday a week ago.
Have y'all ever done a budget for the facility to know how much it costs to operate it? Has the excise board ever done a budget for the jail facility, know how much it costs to operate?
Or we take the sheriff's word, what he said it would cost to operate.
But there's never been a budget produced.
Well, we produce a budget at the first of the year, we put 225,000.
You put 225,000, where did you intend to get that?
Well, that come out of the money that we had coming in this year. We had allocated for budget. Our auditor gives us a figure that we have to budget. And we set that figure up for each office in the county, including the jail, operation of the jail, not bonds, that's not budgeted.
Who does the budget?
We do, the county commissioners and the excise board.
Excise board.
Well, if you increased it $125,000, my question was, where was that money gonna come from?
Well, here's what we had to budget. What our auditor does, he takes a projection of what we put the income based on what was brought in last year. 90% of that projection is budgeted, and he gives us that figure. And we take that figure and we put it out for each